What if I told you that these simple freezer silicone molds could save you your time, money, and actually make meal prepping something that you don't dread? I thought super cubes were just another silicone tray in cute colors and sizes, and honestly I thought they were a little bit overpriced, but once I've realized that you can use them for way more than just soups and stews, my whole system and approach to meal prepping has changed. And if you're new here, welcome to Mediterrasian cooking. This is where eating healthy becomes available to everybody. I am a mom of two, currently pregnant with my third, and I'm still learning how to feed my family the best that I can. So in today's video, I'm going to weight it on the Supercube trend and show you 3 ways that I've been using this tool every single week to help me hit my protein goals on a budget and eat food that I actually enjoy without overthinking it or spending hours in the kitchen, especially with little babies around. And I saved the best use for last, so be sure to stick around to the end of this video. Here's something that might surprise you given that this is a channel about healthy eating. I actually struggle a bit when it's about meal prepping because we eat so much. I do it because I have to have some kind of reserves in case I don't have time or we come home from somewhere and there's no food ready. Otherwise, the takeout option becomes very tempting and we want to avoid it as much as possible. So I'm always looking for ways to make the process faster, simpler, and less annoying. But when Supercubes started showing up everywhere on my social media feed, I'll be honest, I was a little bit skeptical. But what finally convinced me to give them a try was the first use that I'm going to show you. And I think you might find this very relatable. My freezer was not very organized and half labeled Ziploc bags. Nothing was portioned. Thawing something out meant committing to that batch all over again, which when you make a giant pot of something weeks ago is a lot. Now I can just portion my portions into individual servings right in the tray. 1 cube equals usually about 1 cup and it's about a meal, and I can take out exactly what I need when I need it. And because I'm not forcing myself or my kids to eat the same thing on repeat, I actually enjoy it more when it comes back around a few days or a few weeks later. So same dish, way less boredom. And I love having a variety of choices at my fingertips. I bring my lunch to the table in just a couple of minutes if I need to every day, and I love having a hot meal that tastes better than anything that I could get at the drive-thru. And I've pretty much put an end to food waste in my kitchen, which is a huge win for us, especially when you're trying to not throw away food at all. And ideally to stick a budget. Once I got leftovers sorted out, I started thinking bigger. What if I could do this with ingredients that I would normally never bother making from scratch? So that's where use number 2 came in, and again, it completely changed how I think about stretching my food dollar. So really, most people don't cook dried chickpeas, dried beans from scratch, and I get it, it takes so long. It takes time, and canned beans are so widely available, not too overpriced, but dried chickpeas cost a fraction of the price. And I honestly think that they actually taste better. But the problem for us was always the quantity, because cooking a pot of beans felt like throwing the dice. Like, you never know what you're really going to end up with. It's like 1 cup of dried chickpeas become into 5 when they're cooked. Now, whether I cook beans or veggies, I do it without fear. I make chickpeas, white beans, black beans, whatever I'm working with that week. Also very big quantities of meat, whatever is left over, and I can just portion straight out into my Supercube tray, and I know exactly what each cube equals. And I can have them whenever I need to. I love being able to pull 1 or 2 out and just toss them directly into the pot, especially because the kids don't always eat with us. They might want to have their meal a bit later, and I can have them whenever I need to. I love being able to pull 1 or 2 out. So if I'm making a curry or a stew, it's like an extension of the pantry in your freezer, except you made it all by yourself for literally pennies a serving. So once I got beans handled, I thought, what about everything else that goes into a recipe or a meal? Was I saw people using this for component prepping items instead of complete dishes, my weekly prep time dropped dramatically. So the next use is where that really comes together. This is the shift that changed everything for us, and it's way simpler than it sounds. So instead of making complete meals and eating the same thing 4 or 5 times in a row, I started prepping building blocks. So we're taking individual components, portioned and frozen, and ready to mix and match. I was seeing this all over social media and I thought I would give it a try. Why not? And I've been doing this with cooked greens, with rice, cooked meats, even raw protein freeze beautifully. All you have to do is portion, freeze, and then just transfer to a bag once they're solid. What this means is that you can mix and match your ingredients and build a meal from scratch in minutes, depending on what everyone prefers. One of my kids likes more rice and the other more meat, so on. You can use different dressings, different sauces, different seasonings. It never feels like the same meal twice. It's a lot of fun. And for those of us watching our protein and calorie intake, this also makes tracking so much easier, especially during pregnancy, when the protein intake has to be way higher than the regular one. I always know exactly what I'm getting in each cube. There's no estimating, there's no measuring, no logging from scratch. Alright, so leftovers are covered, beans on demand, mix and match building blocks in the freezer. This is how I turned from a skeptical impulse buy to something that I genuinely reach for every single week, if not probably every single day. I'll link the specific trays that I use down in the description below. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you have discovered any other uses for these super cubes that I might not have covered today. And if you like this video, please give it a like and consider hitting that subscribe button. For more budget-friendly, high-protein meal prep inspiration, here's another video that I think you'll enjoy. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.